कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस विश्वगुरु ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस शील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय। श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय। विश्वगुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, Fundamental Principles of Material Nature, verse number 37. Chalanam Vyuhanam Praptihi. Chalanam Vyuhanam Praptir. Chalanam Vyuhanam Praptir. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Sarva Indriyanam Atmatvam. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayoho Karma Abhilakshanam. Vayo Karma Abhilakshanam. Vayo Karma Abhilakshanam. Chalanam Yuhanam Praptir. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayo Karma Bhilakshanam. Chalanam Yuhanam Praptir. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayo Karma Bhilakshanam. Chalanam Yohanam Praptir. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayo Karma Bhilakshanam.
Chalanam Yohanam Praptir. Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayo Karma Bhilakshanam.
Chalanam Vyuhanam Praptir. Netritvam Dravya Sabdayoho. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayoha Karma Bhilakshanam.
Chalanam Vyuhanam Praptir. Netratvam Dravya Shabdayo. Sarvendriyanam Atmatvam. Vayo Karma Bhilakshanam.
Chalanam, moving. Vyuhanam, mixing. Prapti, allowing approach. Netritvam, carrying. Dravya Shabdayoho, particles of substances and sound. Sarva Indriyanam, of all the senses. Atmatvam, providing for the proper functioning. Vayoho, of air. Karma, by actions. Abhilakshanam, the distinct characteristics. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The action of the air is exhibited in movements, mixing, allowing approach to the objects of sound and other sense perceptions, and providing for the proper functioning of all other senses. Kindly repeat. The action of the air is exhibited in movements, mixing, allowing approach to the objects of sound and other sense perceptions, and providing for the proper functioning of all other senses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. We can perceive the action of the air when the branches of a tree move or when dry leaves on the ground collect together. Similarly, it is only by the action of the air that a body moves, and when the air circulation is impeded, many diseases result. Paralysis, nervous breakdowns, madness, and many other diseases are actually due to an insufficient circulation of air. In the Ayurvedic system, these diseases are treated on the basis of air circulation. If, from the beginning, one takes care of the process of air circulation, such diseases cannot take place. From the Ayurveda, as well as from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is clear that so many activities are going on internally and externally because of air alone. And as soon as there is some deficiency in the air circulation, these activities cannot take place. Here it is clearly stated, Netritvam Dravya Shabdayoho. Our sense of proprietorship over action is also due to the activity of the air. If the air circulation is stifled, we cannot approach a place after hearing. If someone calls us, we hear the sound because of the air circulation, and we approach that sound or the place from which the sound comes. It is clearly said in this verse that these are all movements of the air. The ability to detect odors is also due to the action of the air. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Deenataranam. Few days back, there was this cyclone which struck India. Do you all remember what is the name of the cyclone? Don't know. It was called Montha. Cyclone Montha. And nowadays, the weather forecasting systems are quite well developed. The Indian Weather Forecasting Department, they had already warned that the cyclone is approaching and which are the areas going to be affected based on the travel path and all those things they estimated. And it was going to come and the cyclone was to come and have a landfall in Andhra Pradesh. The government had made a lot of arrangements, moved out people from all the coastal areas, shifted them into camps, temporary makeshift camps where the people can all be safe and not affected by the cyclone. And The figures were something like 76,000 people from the coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh were shifted into all these camps. You can imagine, not a small number. 76,000 people is quite a lot of people. Different camps, of course, different villages, different camps, not in one place. If you put 76,000 people in one place, it will become one city. And so finally the cyclone landed, had a landfall somewhere around Machilipatnam or somewhere like that in Andhra. And when the cyclone had the landfall, the winds were blowing at 100 km per hour plus. And you can imagine 100 km per hour, what is the wind force? I remember in Vrindavan, that area, Vrindavan, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi and all that. During April-May time, we have this Andhis. Andhis are nothing but dust storms. So one day, they are called dust storms because they may or may not be accompanied by rain, but because of the wind, it will whip up a lot of dust and practically visibility will get reduced to a few hundred meters. Maybe 100 meters, 200 meters, you can see. Beyond that, you cannot see. Full dust. Once I was in Vrindavan and I saw from the distance the dust gathering. So, Andhi is coming. I went into, I was actually in that outside area, in the lawn area. And finally that Andhi, the dust storm reached our place. And I had to take shelter somewhere. And I was walking towards the building and this gust of wind came and I was like, I had to push myself against the wind to get into that building. Somehow managed to reach the building. Then I turned around, one Mali. We had a big lawn space, so we had Malis, gardeners. So the horticulture is the gardener. They used to have these tricycles in which they would take their implements, shift some earth here and there, take some manure, and those kind of stuff. So he was pulling his tricycle, tricycle, and he was coming. And the wind came and he's pulling with all his strength, putting all his body weight. His body is almost horizontal. But the wind is so strong, he's not able to move the tricycle. Finally, he left the tricycle and ran into the building. And the wind took the tricycle and went away. And then I was watching, we had one building which had a light roof. Light roof means you have steel trusses and on top of that you have galvanum sheets. And suddenly, the wind picked up one of the sheets of that building, the roof, and it lifted up, the sheet went flying in the air. And dada bada bada sound and all that, and it lifted it, and it blew it along for, some 200, 300 meters, and we had one OAT. OAT, it was a amphitheater kind of thing with the well going below the ground level. It came and dropped that sheet into that OAT, and I was watching, my God, what is happening? Anyway, cannot do anything here, wait and watch. So in a few minutes, the Andhi was gone and all the dust and all settled, everything came back to normal. Mali ran back, found out where his tricycle was, somewhere far off it had gone and fallen. He took it and brought. Then later, of course, we got the maintenance team, shifted the sheet back, put it back in place, and then after that we constructed some brick walls so that in future Andhi comes, the sheet will get protected, it will not get blown off and all that. So those Andhis are not 100 km per hour. They'll be probably 40, 50 km per hour, that's all. So you can imagine, 40, 50 km per hour also, how much forceful that wind can be. And imagine 100 km per hour. Naturally, there was a lot of devastation, a lot of trees uprooted, small cottages and buildings, light roof buildings and all blown away and all these kind of things. And the government also estimated so many crores of loss has happened, and even a lot of crops were also lost and all that. So you see how, after all, what is a cyclone? Cyclone is just a wind. And interestingly, this cyclone, I think, originated in Thailand. So this Monta, they gave the name for this cyclone Monta, 100 kilometers per speed, so much devastation. 76,000 people had to be shifted to camps and all that. So in Thai, they gave this cyclone, every cyclone they give a name. So they gave this cyclone the name Monta. So I was wondering, what is this Monta? So when I searched, I found Monta means fragrant flower. What is fragrant about 100 kilometer per hour cyclone, and what soft, tenderness like a flower it had? I don't know why. If they had called it Trinavarta or they called it Ravanasura or something like that, I can understand. Why did they call it a fragrant flower? Anyway, so they called it like that. So actually, you see, ultimately, you call it a fragrant flower or whatever you call it, it is after all a wind, the air blowing at a certain speed. But you see, that wind has the power to move 76,000 people away from their homes, leave their homes, go to some camp, temporary camp. So you can imagine 76,000 people are getting moved. Why? Because of the movement of air. Trees are getting blown away. Why? Because of the air. Buildings are getting blown away. Why? Because of air. So you see the power of air, the power of wind, how it can make things move on a very large scale. Not only can the wind or the air move things on a large scale, externally, like Prabhupada is giving the example in the purport. Chalanam Yuhanam. Chalanam Yuhanam Praptir. The action of air is exhibited in movements, mixing. Prabhupada gives the example. When breeze blows here also, the leaves on the ground will all get together. You see? So this is the external action of wind. The breeze can move leaves. It can also move people. It can move whole villages. It can even move trees and big buildings. And in fact, in the United States, there are these twisters, tornadoes, which will lift huge trucks and take them up into the air. So you see, this is the external action of air. Air can move things. And the same air also has an internal action. The external action of air we can see. We can see very clearly how when the wind is blowing, the different things are moving. That's the external action of air. And the air also has an internal action. What is the internal action of the air? All our bodily movements, all our muscle movements, they are all made possible by the action of the different kinds of air within the body. Ayurveda says there are 10 kinds of air circulating within the body. When we close and open our eyelids, there is one certain type of air which is working behind that. For us to open our jaw and speak, there is one kind of air. For us to move our limbs, there is another kind of air which is working. For digestion within the stomach, movement of the food within the intestine, there is another kind of air which is at work. So, this contraction and expansion of the muscle is what helps us to move the different limbs of our body. Our movement of our eyelids, movement of our jaw, movement of our hands, legs, there are different muscles. That's how modern science looks at it. But Ayurveda says that this is all due to the different actions of different kinds of vayu or vata within the body. So, Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai. The world over, there are approximately 1.5 crore people, not a small number, 1.5 crore people who are affected by one form of paralysis or the other. The movement of some portion of their body, maybe a hand or a facial paralysis or paralysis of one half of the body, any part of the body can become paralyzed. People suffering from different kinds of paralysis, there are estimated 1.5 crore people all over the world. Huge number. And paralysis happens, according to Ayurveda, because of the derangement or obstruction of the flow of air within the body. Similarly, neurological disorders, that's an even bigger number. Can you imagine the number of people who are affected by neurological disorders? 43% of the population. 340 crore people in the world are affected by some neurological disorder or the other. When somebody gets some neurological disorder, I also underwent a neurological disorder some years back. Jaw closure dystonia. Cannot speak, the mouth doesn't open. So, your jaw is not in your control. All of us, when we talk, we don't even think, right? We speak normally. It's a natural action. Suppose suddenly one day you find you try to speak and your jaw doesn't move. It doesn't open. What will you feel? That's the feeling that I had to undergo in 2018 when I got the jaw closure dystonia. At that time, when I went to different doctors, they all said it is a neurological disorder. So I was asking why this has happened. No, we cannot tell. It happens, that's all. What is the cure? Normally these kind of disorders, 1.5 years, 2 years, it will stay. After that it will go. You have to wait, that's all. Cannot do anything. So modern science has actually does not know the root cause of neurological disorder. Varieties of neurological disorders. Aphasia, there is dystonia, millions of things. And modern science can only help to improve the quality of life of a person who has a neurological disorder to a small extent, by some medication, this, that, and all those things. They have no cure. Most of the neurological disorders, they have no cure, and they don't know why it happens also. It just happens, that's it. On the other hand, according to Ayurveda, all the neurological disorders happen because of the aggravation of Vata. Some disturbance in the movement of air in the body, it creates neurological disorders. So, if you go for paralysis, treatment of paralysis or neurological disorders in Ayurveda, they will treat the Vayu disturbance, how to balance the Vata movement within the body. That's how Ayurveda treats it. So, practically, when somebody has a paralysis or a neurological disorder, that person actually realizes how his own body is not in his control. We move our hand. It's a very natural thing. We don't even think about it. But for a person who is paralyzed, his hand, he cannot move. Or somebody's leg is paralyzed. When we walk, we don't even think. Right? It's naturally we walk. Somebody has a paralysis in the legs. What will happen? He is confined to a wheelchair. He wants to move his leg. He tries to move his leg. Nothing happens. So actually you see, the movement of our own body is not in our hands. We are thinking, I am moving the body, I am speaking, I am raising my hand, I am walking. Actually, we are not doing anything. The Vayu within the body is making the body move. And if the air gets disrupted, that's all. You cannot do anything. You can go to the best hospital, you can take the best medication, treatment, everything. Nothing will work. So, Prabhupada is saying an interesting thing in the purport here, that our sense of proprietorship over action is also due to the activity of the air. Our sense of proprietorship over the action. Oh, I am walking. I am lifting this. I am talking. We have a sense of proprietorship. I am doing all these things. But actually, what is the reality? The air is what is making me walk. Air is what is allowing me to lift things. Air is what is making my jaw move. But we are thinking, I am doing this. You see, such a big illusion this is. Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita that karya karana kartrutve prakritir heturuchyate purushaha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve heturuchyate. Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, he is smashing this illusion that I am the person who is doing. Krishna is saying hetu, the cause, karya karana kartrutve, the cause of doing work and generating its effect. Whenever we do any work, there is some effect, there is some result. So the cause of all action, karya and karanam, karya karana kartrutve, the cause of all action as well as their results. Hetuhu, what is the cause? Not us, not the human beings. Prakritir heturuchyate, it is the Prakriti which is the cause of all action and their results. Simultaneously, Krishna says, now this is very interesting. Krishna then says, Bhoktrutve, Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve. Now, the enjoyer or the experiencer, Bhoktrutva. Bhokta means experiencer. Bhoktrutve, in experiencing Sukha Dukkhanam, of happiness and distress, arising out of the actions which are caused by Prakriti. Who is the experiencer? Who is the cause of that experience of happiness and distress arising out of the action caused by Prakriti? Action is caused by Prakriti. And the result arising out of that action is also caused by Prakriti. But who takes ownership or accountability for the experience of happiness or distress arising out of the actions of Prakriti? Purushaha, the living entity. Purushaha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve karanamuchyate. How interesting this is, you see. Action is done by somebody else. The result of that action is caused by somebody else. But the result of that experience of that result is enjoyed or suffered by somebody else. It is like saying, I went and stole something and the punishment for stealing is given to somebody else. What is this? Interesting, isn't it? So Prabhupada explains this. Actually, this is something which many people end up with this question. That if Prakriti, if the modes of material nature are causing all actions, then why am I held responsible? Why do I have to suffer or enjoy the result of the actions which are caused by Prakriti? Then how am I held accountable? So Prabhupada explains that when Krishna says that the karya karanam prakritir heturuchyate, that activities are caused by Prakriti, what it means is, Prabhupada gives one simple example to understand this. Suppose a living entity gets a dog's body. The moment he gets his dog's body, Prakriti has given him the dog's body. Krishna says in the next verse, Purushaha prakritistohi bhunkte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasad yoni janmasu. According to our actions in a particular life, we obtain a body, sadasad yoni janmasu. It may be a better body or a lower body. If I got a human body, I can elevate myself to a demigod body by accumulating punya. Or I can do sinful activity and get a body of an animal or a tree or a bird, a lower form. So, Prakritistohi, Purushaha, the living entity, being immersed in the three modes of material nature, because of the arrangement of material nature, the laws of karma, he gets a particular kind of body. Now suppose I did the activities which ordained Prakriti to give me the body of a dog. The moment I enter the body of a dog, what will happen? I will be forced. I will have no choice. I will have to behave like a dog. I cannot start behaving like a cat. Do you ever see a dog behaving like a cat? Or let us say a tiger goes and starts eating grass along with deer. Or let us say a deer goes and starts hunting other animals and eating like a tiger. You don't find such things, isn't it? Whatever body you get, you have to act. You are limited to act according to that particular body. So you see, action, whatever activities we do, we are controlled by the mode of material nature which is particular to that body. Now, when we look at all lower forms, animals, birds, insects, reptiles, etc., they have no free will. They are forced to act according to the body that they have got. So, because they have no free will and they are forced to act exactly according to the body that they have got, therefore, there is no karma for them. Animals, birds, insects, these lower forms, they don't have karma. A tiger goes and kills another animal and eats meat. It has no bad karma. But whereas a human being, if he eats meat, what happens? He will get resultant papa karma. He will get a sinful reaction. Now, why this differentiation? So, because in the human form of life, there is free will. Now, the question comes, Krishna said, karya karana kartritve prakritir hetu ruchyate. That even in the human form of life, we are controlled by the three modes of material nature. And Krishna elaborately explains in the 16th chapter and other chapters how, according to the mode of material nature which controls my body, if I have Rajoguna, then if my body is controlled primarily by Rajoguna, then I will have a natural propensity to eat a certain kind of food, very spicy and stuff like that. If I am more in Sattoguna, I will like food stuff which is very bland, which is not spicy, which is very nutritious and healthy, like milk products and stuff like that. And if I am controlled more by the mode of ignorance, what will happen? I will like putrid stuff, food which is decaying, like meat and other stuff. So, even in the human form of life, our choices are controlled by the mode of material nature which is controlling my body. Somebody has a liking for spicy food. Somebody has a liking for meat. Now you cannot control them. You cannot tell them, no, stop, give it up. He has no control over his liking. He thinks, I like it. But actually, what is the thing? He is a slave of that desire of that mode of material nature which is forcing him to like that. So then where is free will? So three modes of material nature are dictating what I like, what I don't like, what kind of faith I will have, what kind of food I will like, how much I will sleep. All these things Krishna is explaining in the Bhagavad Gita. All these are controlled by the three modes of material nature. Then if everything is controlled by mode of material nature, again we come back to the square one, the same question. Then what am I, why am I held accountable for the actions? If I am controlled by the mode of ignorance, and that mode of ignorance is driving me to eat meat, then why am I held accountable? Why is it said that this is papa karma and I'll have to suffer for this? A mode of ignorance is pushing me what I can do. So you hold the mode of ignorance accountable. No, why you are holding me accountable? The point is, in the human form of life, the free will given is whatever propensity you have, whatever mode of material nature your body is controlled by, and because of which you have got a certain propensity, you can fulfill those propensities according to the laws of dharma. In the Vedic scriptures, there are activities which are prescribed for Kshatriyas, activities which are prescribed for Vaishyas, activities which are prescribed for Brahmanas, activities which are prescribed for Shudras. What are these activities? A person who is called a Shudra, he is called a Shudra. Why? Because his body is controlled by the mode of ignorance. So according to the mode of ignorance, there are certain duties, certain actions which are prescribed by the Vedas. What kind of profession he can have, what kind of livelihood he should have, all these things are dictated. What are the dharmic rules and regulations he has to follow? Now, for a Vaishya who is in a mixed mode of ignorance and passion, the vocations, the professions, and the duties will not be the same as that of a Shudra. It will be different. The duties that he has to perform, the yajnas that he has to perform, the professions that he is allowed to take, it will be different. For a Kshatriya who is controlled by the mode of passion, the professions are different, the duties are different, the yajnas are different. Similarly, Brahmana is controlled by the mode of Sattva-guna, his duties and actions are totally different. So you see, the Vedic scriptures have prescribed certain activities, professions, the methods of livelihood for different people according to the mode of material nature which is controlling your body. So when we look at a Vaishya, Vaishya karma swabhavajam, what is the characteristic of a Vaishnava, of a Vaishya? Characteristic of a Vaishya is that a Vaishya is driven by an intense desire to accumulate a lot of wealth. This is the influence of a mixed mode of passion and ignorance. If you look at a Kshatriya, he is driven by an intense motivation to help others and to protect others' rights, to protect others' dignity, to protect others' lives. These are the motivations of a Kshatriya who is driven by the mode of passion. Now, when it comes to a Vaishya, when he has to, the mode of material nature will drive him to earn money. That is the influence of the mixed mode of passion and ignorance. It will force him. He cannot help it. If you tell him, give up all this wealth, you should be detached from wealth, you should not think about money, he will not be able to do it. Right? So now, what the Vedic scriptures do is, okay, you are a Vaishya, you have an uncontrollable desire to accumulate wealth. So therefore, you do this by 1, 2, 3, 4 activities. Krishi, Gorakshya, Vanijya. These are the 3, 4 things which you can do, and in this way you accumulate wealth. And the accumulated wealth, you also have to do dana. You have to do charity. For a Vaishya, a certain set of charities are prescribed. You have to do that. So you see, the propensity of a Vaishya to earn money is recognized by the Vedas, and they tell you, utilize that propensity in this manner. You fulfill that propensity in this manner. Similarly, for a Kshatriya, there are certain propensities. The Vedas state you fulfill your propensity in this manner. So, when you fulfill the propensities which are natural to your body according to the mode of material nature, you fulfill those propensities according to the injunctions in the Vedas. What happens? You are free of Papa Karma. You will accumulate Punya Karma. And when you accumulate Punya Karma, you will get a higher and a higher body. Higher body means you will get a body which is more and more in Sattva Guna, which means you get greater and greater free will. And you can use that free will to become detached, to develop knowledge of the soul, to develop knowledge of the supreme absolute truth, to develop the understanding, to detach yourself from the bodily concept, and you can liberate yourself and get out of this material world, and eventually go to the spiritual world, to the lotus feet of Krishna. This is the whole design of the Vedic scripture. So, if you follow the Vedic scriptures, the rules and regulations given in the Vedic scriptures, whatever natural propensity you have, which mode of material nature is pushing you, forcing you to do that, you can do that without having to suffer. But you will progress spiritually as well. So this is the free will that a living entity can exercise in the human form of body. What is that free will? As a Vaishya, I have a propensity to earn money. I can either earn that money by doing Krishi, Gorakshya, Vanijya in the manner which is prescribed by the Vedic scriptures, or I can earn money by other means also. I can go and loot someone. I can earn money like that. I can murder someone, earn money like that. I can cheat someone, earn money like that. Correct, no? It is possible. You look at the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The Pandavas were Kshatriyas. They wanted a kingdom to rule. They followed the path of Dharma and got a kingdom to rule. Duryodhana also, as a Kshatriya, he wanted to rule. He wanted a kingdom. What did he do? He took the process of cheating. He took the process of adharma. So, both were Kshatriyas. Both wanted a kingdom to rule. One decided, the Pandavas decided, that we will take a kingdom to rule only by the path of Dharma. Duryodhana took the decision that I will take a kingdom to rule by following adharma. So that's in the hand of the living entity to fulfill his propensity either by following dharma or the path of adharma. I can earn money according to the Vedic scriptures, or I can neglect the Vedic scriptures and earn money. I can put a meat factory, I can run a slaughterhouse and earn money. I can have an agricultural business and also earn money. Both are possible, no? I can also have a farm of, I can grow opium, I can grow cannabis, marijuana, and I can earn money from that also. So, it is the human form of life. So, for a Vaishya, that propensity to earn money is there. Now, you utilize that propensity by earning money in the way which is prescribed in the Vedas. Then what will happen? You will not have to undergo Papa Karma. So, that's the free will that a human has. To fulfill his propensity, whatever the three modes of material nature are driving him to do, according to the dharma or neglecting dharma. This is the free will that the living entity has. The free will that the living entity is not that I can stop my Vaishya mentality and I can shift into Kshatriya mentality. That is not possible. Unless, of course, you have the grace of Krishna or a pure devotee. But otherwise, materially speaking, you cannot overcome that the influence of the three modes of material nature. That is why Krishna says, Karya Karana Kartrutve Prakritir Heturuchyate. But although you are being forced to act in a certain way, what happens? Bhoktrutve Purushaha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Karanamuchyate. Ultimately, you are the responsible for happiness or distress which comes out of the actions which are caused by the three modes of material nature. Right? So, therefore, the free will that a living entity in the human form of body can exercise is to either follow the path of dharma and fulfill his propensities, or follow the path of adharma and fulfill his propensities. Either way, the propensities will remain. And that is why the Shastras state, Prabhupada often quoted this. That, what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada said, Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitanam cha etat samanyam pasuvir naranam. If you look at the fundamental activities, eating, sleeping, mating and defending, they are common to animals as well as human beings. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. Dharmena hina pasubis samana. Dharma is what distinguishes humans from animals. An animal does not have the free will to say that I will fulfill my propensity according to the injunctions of the Vedas. I will follow dharma. Tiger cannot say, I will follow dharma and then hunt. It cannot say. It has no choice. Therefore, there is no karma. Therefore, bhoktrutve karanamuchyate. The living entities in the animal forms are not held accountable for their actions, which are caused by the three modes of material nature. But in the human form of life, the differentiating factor between humans and animals is what? It is dharma. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. The special thing which is available in the human form is there is a free will ingrained in every human being to fulfill the propensities of the three modes of material nature driving his body and mind and intelligence. Subtle, when I say body, it means gross body as well as subtle body. Both bodies are driven by the three modes of material nature. That living entity within the human body, whether he is a Shudra, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Brahmana, whatever it is, any form, human form, he has the free will to fulfill those propensities according to dharma, according to the Vedic scriptures. and if he fulfills those propensities according to the Vedic scriptures, then he will free himself more and more. He will climb that ladder of consciousness. He will climb that ladder of gunas. Eventually he will come to Sattva-guna. Finally he will cross Sattva-guna, go into Vishuddha Sattva-guna. He will come to pure devotional service to Krishna, and he will be able to go back to Godhead also. So, therefore, we have to understand that the proprietorship over action is caused by the action of air in combination with the three modes of material nature, and that is why Krishna also tells in the Bhagavad Gita that ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. A person who is driven by false ego, he thinks, I am the doer. Whereas what is the reality? Reality is that netritvam dravya shabdayoho. All the sense of proprietorship over action is due to the activity of the air in combination with the three modes of material nature, which makes us come under the illusion thinking we are the doer. But when we engage in devotional service to Krishna, we can clearly see the distinction. What I am doing and what is being done by the three modes of material nature, and how to dovetail the propensities of the three modes of material nature, which is what I am endowed with in this body, the gross and subtle body, how to dovetail that in Krishna's service so that my activities become transcendental and liberating instead of binding me to this material world of repeated birth, death, disease and old age. This is the skill of devotional service, dovetailing our propensities in the service of Krishna. And Kapila Deva here, he is driving home that point to make his mother understand that we are not the doers, three modes of material nature, and the air which is causing us to act in specific ways internally as well as externally. And we have to understand all these causes so that we become free from the sense of proprietorship over our actions, and instead we dedicate our life and our action to the service of Krishna, and thus we can get liberated. All right? So we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.